Hi, Michelle here. I have not made a video in quite, I guess, like a week. And the reason is um, I'm dealing with some supremely horrible anxiety right now. And I know I have really bad anxiety that just comes from my fibro. And I actually want to talk to people about kind of what I'm going through, where I talked a little bit about, what we went through and why I believe that I actually developed fibromyalgia. But I kind of want to talk about what we're going through now. I haven't been able to get adequate care here in Canada, like I talked about in Nova Scotia. And so we have to move back to the States, which is a tremendous undertaking. It was horrible the first time when we went 4,000 miles across the country, and now we're going back. We're not going all the way to Seattle, mind you, because we don't want to live in Washington. But we are headed down to the eastern part of the United States, and I am so stressed out about this move. It's causing me to lose sleep. I just went to the doctor because I've developed panic attacks that are so bad I'm hyperventilating most of the day. And I looked this up online because I didn't understand what was going on, why it felt kind of like I was starting to hyperventilate all the time. And it's an actual thing. People with these panic attacks can have this happen more often than not. And it's really stressful. That alone is even stressful. And I'll probably do that quite a bit during this video. That's kind of what's going on. I will not be able to breathe properly. And the doctor here, they don't do a whole lot here. My blood pressure has kind of skyrocketed. And the doctor here said that there's not really anything that they're going to do unless my blood pressure goes off the charts and stays off the charts and I have to go to the hospital. They're not going to do anything for it. He gave me some Xanax. He gave me 15 Xanax for a week. I usually don't take a whole Xanax. I just cut one in half unless I'm having such a bad panic attack that it's going to take me down. I will only take a third to a half of one, and that's fine for me. I don't like the way they make me tired and goofy feeling anyway, but they do help to calm my nerves. So the reason I wanted to make this video today is because of the fact that I am going through this. I want to share with other people, no matter how good I'm taking care of myself and no matter how much I'm exercising, this stuff is still going on, and I'm having a problem focusing on pretty much anything else that's around me. And my husband asked me this morning to make, well, we talked about it last night, but he asked me to make this list of things that I feel that I have to do. And in this list, it was really interesting because I was furious about making this list because it was just one more thing that I felt like I had to get done. And in this list, as I wrote it, I realized one of the biggest things is I feel like a failure for bringing my family back to my home country that I have always loved, that I still love, but I'm so furious at right now for not taking care of my family and its citizens the way it should. And I think that's what gets me more than anything, is that we had this adventure to take our kids across the country and be here and have them start a new life here. And I have felt like an absolute failure for this. And that is really, really difficult to deal with. And now our family is having to pack up and move again in a year. And again, we've had to move twice since we've been here. Well, I take that once more since we got here. We had to move because the first home that we got to was unlivable. We rented it from far, far away, and the people were not very trustworthy, but we didn't know that. So we had to move within a month of getting here, and thank goodness we found a place. It's not where I want to live at all, and I did learn from the home that we live in now, I don't want to live in the city. I am not a city girl. The noise, the pollution, and granted, the pollution here is nothing compared to like Seattle or Los Angeles or anything like that. You can walk outside and breathe in clean air. But we were watching a plastic bag, a grocery bag, roll into our yard this morning from somewhere because the wind here is so, there's a lot of wind here. Let's just say that. There's a lot of wind here. And we just watched it kind of go into the yard, and it's not somewhere where I want to live. I don't want to be in the city. I don't want to be around. The buses go by our house until 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's loud. We live in an old home, like over 100 years old. There's no insulation. If there is insulation, it was saltines or whatever they used back in the day. And so you can hear our neighbors coughing. I mean, it's just really, really super loud. And I want to be out somewhere where there's not a lot of noise. I want to be in a place far away from that. And that was a good thing to learn, because I don't know, I always kind of thought I didn't mind that, but I found out do not like it. So the anxiety that I am going through is something that I can't really talk about with anybody. I have no one to talk to here. All my friends are back in Washington. I'm not happy where I'm working. I mean, it's not that I don't like what I do. I love what I do. I'm not happy where I'm working. And I don't have anyone here that shares my values. And that makes it really difficult for me. It's really, really hard to be able to not have these things constantly going through my head, especially when I'm trapped in my head. I don't have anyone. And I don't just want to bitch at my husband all day. I don't think that's very fair. Well, granted, he's lucky. He's at home while I'm here, so he doesn't have to listen to it all day. But anyway, so, it was kind of hard for me to get on the computer and make any kind of video. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to be part of the world. I didn't even want to be at work, honestly. But, not a whole lot of options there, right? So, yes, what I'd like to know is what are some of the things that other people do to deal with panic attacks when you have them, because mine are just not stopping. They're not slowing down, and they are far worse. They're far worse in the morning and in the evenings, I notice. That's what it seems like anyway. I tend to get more of them first thing in the morning when I'm starting work, and then in the evening when I'm dealing with things with my husband, I tend to get more of them. And he says, just calm down, breathe, because he's very concerned about my blood pressure, which, as I said, has been skyrocketing so high that my vision goes, I can't see anything, and it feels, I can't hear. My head feels like it's going to explode. I have to actually slow down because yesterday the store, I was at the store getting some groceries. They made me sit down for a while because I almost passed out. And I'm obviously more concerned about my health too. I don't want something to happen. And I feel like I have no control whatsoever over anything at this point. I have none. So I'd like to know what some people do. Meditating is extremely difficult, and I'm going to say meditating is really, really hard where we live. We have a very, very tiny house. There's not a whole lot of room. My altar is set up against the wall. It's against the road, and I cannot meditate very easily with all the noise. It is really difficult for me to push that noise out. And I'm not kidding. We have sirens going by. We have loud music, honking. One of these days I'll take a video and post it on here so you guys can see how loud it is. It's just so loud. It's really difficult for me to wipe that out, to meditate. And I've tried, mind you, I've tried. So I'd like to know what it is that some of you do. I'm just not seeing a whole lot of options here. And I've even thought, well, maybe they just need to give me something else to take until we get through this move. But I don't know if that's the right thing to do either. I'm not great with, like, I don't want to take antidepressants. They gave me something called Lyrica for the fibromyalgia, which made me suicidal. And I mean, very suicidal. I was trying to find ways to kill myself. Stopped that immediately. Haven't had that issue since. I'm very leery of a lot of medications. So I don't know what to do at this point. So again, if any of you out there share this fun part of Vibro with me, can you tell me what it is that you do? How do you combat this? Do you have people that you talk to? Do you see a therapist? Those things will be easier for me, of course, when we're back in the States, but maybe you can give me a heads up on something that might really help. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful, just a wonderful day. Love and light.